Sooner Nation, who has a better jawline?
I have neck hair right now, bro. It's not fair.
I literally have the same thing you do.
No, you do not. Mine's way darker down there, dude. Yours is like nothing.
Anyways. All right, Danny. Intro
All right.
time.
Yo. What's up, Sooner Nation? It's your boy, Danny Stutzman, number 28 on the field, number 1 in your hearts. And I'm with my amazing co-host, number 7 in your heart and number 7 on the field. And we kind of knew this day was going to be coming, but, it's unfortunate news that Jeremiah Hall is no longer with us and Beulah is too big time. Jay Hall has now got his first client being a financial advisor, so he's no longer going to be with us, but congratulations to him. And as you know, episode 11 of the podcast on the Prairie, presented by Crimson and Cream. It's great to be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the new and improved. I don't know if I want to say improved. The new version of the podcast with just me and Danny here. We might bring Jay Hall on as a special guest here and there. If he forces his hand. But.
Yeah, me and Jaren were kind of just talking it out, and we just didn't think he was kind of really giving his all into this podcast and what it needed. I felt like me and Jaren were bringing so much to the table, and he was really just holding us back. I think, from a viewer standpoint, he doesn't really know too much about football. He's kind of been removed from it for a few years. So he just doesn't really have that knowledge anymore that, you Sooner fans really enjoy and, really came to love. So, it was a tough talk, talking to Jay Hall. He's such a great person, big heart. But, you got to be me being the older guy, been around the podcast a little longer, I had to make a tough decision. I said, look, Jay Hall, just for the future of this podcast, it's not going to work out with you being a part of it. Obviously, you did a tremendous job starting it, but it's just not going to work out. And obviously he took it very well by that. I mean, he dropped to his hands and he started bawling and then begging for forgiveness and to be let back onto the show. But, it was sad to see a grown man do that. But, this is kind of his child. He's worked so hard for it. But, it is what it is at the end of the day. It's business. And that's just all.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's a businessman. And, for if we have any kids listening, they say it all the time for us college athletes. Once you grow up and get out of the house and, everybody's not telling you what to do or telling you to eat or telling you to get your homework done, it's a tough dog world out there. When you're the weak link, sometimes you're gonna get cut off. And so, we just had to make that business decision that, this podcast was just trending downhill. And we had to dig and look within ourselves, and we came to the conclusion that Jay Hall was just so old and outdated and couldn't keep up with those young guys. So we're trying to keep this hip and new, and that's why we made that sacrifice there. But anyways.
But hey, in reality, Jay Hall just couldn't make it tonight. He actually is still with us, unfortunately. But, he actually has a big exam, another one, I guess. I thought he said he passed, but I guess not. So, wish him luck for wherever he is going. He's actually studying right now, big scholar guy. Couldn't be me. But, congratulations to him. Actually, matter of fact, speaking of studying, last night, I actually had to go to the Biz. And for the viewers that don't know what the Biz is, actually the library on campus. I went at like 7:30. I was there till 9:30. We had a group project and showed up 20 minutes late, but it's because we had practice and I had to get treatment and stuff. My group was really cool. And the crazy thing is I was snapping my roommate, Kelvin Gilliam, for you guys that don't know. And I was like, where are you at? He's like, you won't believe it. I'm actually at the library right now. Like, what the heck? I was like, dude, no way. And like in all 3 years that we've never been to the library, it was like the stars aligned and we were both there on the same day. So that was kind of cool.
I can count on, one of my hands how many times I've been to the University of Oklahoma library. I think it's once. And Danny took me one time I think we were actually just like, we'd never been there. And we're like, dude, let's go see what the library looks like.
I left my keys in my public speaking class. And then the teacher took him to our class in the library. and then me and Jaren had to go over there and explore and grab them. They actually have the thing like the Great Quiet Room or something.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like a Harry Potter. It's so sick. Like you walk in
Very
there,
cool. Yeah.
and when two dudes that obviously they know shouldn't be in there walk in, it's like like the doors like close and everyone's like stares at us like, what are these guys doing in here? And we're like, all right, like I feel so intimidated.
Mhm.
I have to get out of here.
Yo, what's up, Sooner Nation? The podcast on the Prairie is excited to have Crimson and Cream, the official NIL collective of OU Athletics, as our presenting sponsor for the remainder of the season. Crimson and Cream recently announced the launch of their OU Ascendant program. In addition to exclusive meet and greets and new content, merchandise, and events coming soon, members now automatically receive cash back on purchases at everyday retail locations just for supporting the Sooners. Whether it's shopping at Walmart or Target, buying tickets to games on Ticketmaster, or hanging out downtown at O'Connell's, your membership now provides you more value than ever before. Crimson and Cream just gave away 4 sideline passes to last week's big win over West Virginia. We're doing promotions for members monthly and have a big prize in store for the month of December that we'll be announcing soon. This month, we're giving away autographed footballs from Coach V and the end-of-season offensive and defensive MVPs that are still to be determined. All members are eligible to win. Sign up at crimsoncreamcollective.com today using the link in our bio. It helps the show, it helps you, and it helps the Sooner. Sign up.
Speaking of losing his keys, I don't think I've ever in my 19 years of life met someone who misplaces their keys more often than yours truly, Danny Stutzman. I mean, this guy, we go to his house, we're eating lunch or something. We walk in and they're just gone. He doesn't know where they went. Like, we'll leave 5 minutes later and we have to turn the house upside down to look for him. That and his dog has chewed them up like 4 times. He's had like 4 pairs of spares and he's lost all of them. Like, this dude never knows where his keys are.
This is all I have. Like, and then I can't even keep a keychain on it because this is like my house key, but for some reason it doesn't stay on, so it ends up just getting lost everywhere. And yeah, Jaren's not wrong. Actually, I bought an AirTag for my wallet because I always lose my wallet, and I'm like, dude, I can't find my wallet, and I check my phone, and I guess the AirTag just somewhere at Campus Corner. We don't need to get into that, but I think the AirTag actually, as a matter of fact, I found my wallet, so I guess it fell out, but I feel like I could show you guys. It's kind of crazy. Maybe I won't show you where it's at, but I need to go grab that. It's just kind of been sitting there doing
Dude, I had a AirTag nightmare just the other day, actually. So I don't often lose my wallet. So when I don't know where it is, like, it's usually in one of 3 places. My mind's pretty cluttered, but I try and keep it organized.
We should probably
For you listeners, Danny's showing his AirTag location just somewhere around Campus Corner, probably like
last seen 23 minutes ago.
probably like Pickleman's Pizza or something like that. But
Yeah.
I didn't know where my wallet was, and it wasn't in one of my 3 usual hiding spots. So naturally I hop on the Find My iPhone and look for the AirTag, and I noticed it's in my house, but it says that it was offline. And so I had a pile of clothes that I brought from the facility in my passenger seat. I guess I accidentally picked up my pile of clothes along with my wallet and threw them in the washer. And I figured that worst case scenario, I just got to get a new AirTag and everything. But the wallet was fine, the AirTag was fine. It was just went through the washer, got a nice little clean, still a little damp. I handed my card to the the Cane's drive-through lady a little bit ago yesterday, and she was noticeably disgusted by how sticky and wet it was. So I was like, I brought it home and tried to dry it off with a hair dryer.
Why was it sticky?
Dude, I don't know. I guess just when water dries, like how cards get like germs and stuff when water dries on it. I don't know. Anyways,
all right, Jaren. So this week of practice, how do you think it's been going so far?
I think it's been going good. We got a great jump on these guys. Game plan wise, we got a great idea of what's going on and how to adjust everything, and a lot of confidence. We're practicing hard, playing hard. It's getting dark. Like, wow, right when we go outside, the sun is setting, which is kind of cool. Daylight savings. Shout out to that. But yeah, practicing in the dark is pretty cool. Except we have like University of Oklahoma on our practice field. We have like these like blow up lights, just like generator ran lights that are like
get blinded.
Portable. Like they're literally like 12 feet off the ground. So it's not like stadium lights where they're up high looking down so you can like see everything. These lights are like 12 feet off the ground, like right in your line of sight. And
They are
for those of you who are very detailed, you notice that I removed my visor. Is because I get sweat on my visor, and I was actually blind. I couldn't see a damn thing because of these lights. And it's interesting that it's getting dark outside. But how's practice been going for you so far, Mr. Sussman?
Yeah. Speaking of that, I remember Sunday, me and Jaren like put on a movie at like 6 o'clock, and it literally felt like it was 10 o'clock at night. We were like, "Dude, we still
There were other people in the room.
yeah,
Me and
no, it
Danny were
wasn't.
not cuddled up on the couch by
No,
ourselves
yeah,
watching a movie.
we were with his roommates and stuff. Like all the guys just hanging out on Saturdays. The rest in the body could hardly move, but all the guys were at the crib. And we're like, "Dude, we still have like 6 hours before we actually have to go to bed." Like, this just feels so strange.
Like we already watched what's kind of weird is like Sundays are our days off, and I feel like we're always the most busy on Sundays.
Are probably our busiest. It's like our
We
one day
are,
to be like college students though.
yeah,
So
like
it is nice.
like when we get things that we have to like attend, like people ask us to do things or whatnot, we literally say, yeah, I could probably get to it on Sunday because like we're so busy and hectic, and like we mentioned the last podcast at the facility for hours and hours in the day. Like there's not very many windows where we can do things. So, like when people are asking for stuff like that we need to attend to, we're like, yeah, we can probably get that done by Sunday. You know what I mean? So we push everything to Sunday, and then when Sunday comes, we just end up having a giant list of things to do. But we actually ended up knocking everything out. We got all the film watched Sunday morning. Got our recovery and our treatment, and then we found ourselves with hours on our hands, which doesn't really happen often. So we just threw on a movie, and I'll let Danny continue the story wherever he was going with that.
Yeah, but honestly, going back before, Sundays were the best because it's always like, where did everyone end up? Like me and Jared have a thing like all right, where are you at? Because we kind of get stranded in these locations. Because usually for me, my parents stay at my house, so they stay at my house, and Kelvin's parents stay at my house, and so there ends up not being any beds at my own home. So I usually after a game, I just have to scramble to find somewhere to live for the night. And so then Jaren will usually rescue me in the morning, which is kind of nice. And then, yeah, we figure it out from there. But then we usually have breakfast with the family, just kind of give me the Sunday rundown. Breakfast with the fam. And then usually go to Carol's Kitchen. For you guys that don't know, Carol's Kitchen off Classen is the spot. We're always going there. They have amazing food, good service. Except if you have don't go if you have a big party. Like I think 4, maybe 5 is like the max. It's kind of a smaller location, but good food always. I think I've talked about them before on the podcast. It's kind of the old reliable. But go to breakfast with the fam, then kind of go to treatment at like 1 o'clock, and treatment, then film, see the coaches, say what's up. After that, now we have red cards, so now we can go get food from there, which is so clutch. And for you guys that don't know what red card is, have we talked about red card before?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so red card, they've kind of like hooked us up. They give us like $25 on Sundays, and we can just go to like these certain locations around Norman. It's basically free money. Like we can just go and like order whatever we want off the menu. And yeah, it's fun to see everyone at the location at the same time.
Yeah, it always ends up. You always walk in and there's somebody there. I mean, other teams, other sports teams get it as well too. I think I walked in to Pickleman's on Sunday. I think I saw some wrestlers in there, maybe a basketball player, or volleyball player. But like, it's interesting. They give us $25 or so dollars to spend on food, and you have to spend it all in that day. So it how it works is it expires at the end of the day. So what's funny is you end up spending as much as you can. So we go into like Firehouse Subs and get like 12 bags of chips just cause, you know what I mean? It's like never something you would never order unless you just had to burn the money. It's like they make you burn the money because it expires, so might as well use it while you got
I think
it.
it's good for the economy, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's great.
We're just buying stuff. So look at us putting money back into the economy, helping everyone out. All right, so moving to the game, kind of been off track a little bit. Let's get right down to it. We let off an early touchdown first drive. Actually, the second time this year, only the second time this year we've let off a score to start the game. Kind of, caught on our heels. I was playing a new position, so I kind of need the time to, get right into, get acclimated. I think, I haven't gained too many reps at practice just due to everything that's been going on. But it was good to be out there with Kip. Like I've said before, Kip is just such an athlete. Obviously, he kind of made his debut against Oklahoma State. Played tremendous football. We came out there kind of on our heels a little bit, but I think after that really got settled in, really responded well. And it was kind of smooth sailing, a lot of big plays, just kind of being consistent, moving forward, had that goal line stand, was electric. I think the first play, I stopped the quarterback, and I'm like holding him back like that, and it was like slow motion. I was like, oh no. I was like, they're known for pushing the pile. And in my mind, I just felt everyone just come like right at me and start hitting me. I was like, my ankle was getting destroyed in that pile. And I just got tweaked up a little bit. So I went down. It wasn't that bad, but it's like at that moment you kind of just have to stay down so you get like an injury timeout because there's no point of like hobbling off, and they can run tempo and you're down a person. So I went down, got up, kind of electric, and Jaren came in for a play, clutched up. He came out there ready to go, and then it came back in. I came back in. We had another stop, and I actually thought that was like the fourth down stop. So I was like, I went to their sideline, like hyping up the crowd, and I was doing the most. I was like, let's go, let's go. And I was like, wait, I think like a timeout happened. I was like, wait, like that wasn't. We aren't off the field. Like I probably look like the biggest moron celebrating so much.
Awkward.
I was like, dang, like now we have to get a stop, or else I'm gonna look like the worst player ever. And we had a call that we kind of practiced a lot on that fourth down. They did the little shuttle pass. I remember scraping perfectly, meeting the dude in the hole, and then big DT was right there to swoop him up. And just another electric stop. That should have been our third, but Jaren had other plans, so it was only
all right. Moving on. Yeah, no, we practice our goal line package, pretty much every week, especially when we got to be prepared for that situation. We pride ourselves on stopping them at the one like that, and that's super electric, super awesome, to be a part of something like that and see something like that happen. And defensive people just love it, and the crowd loves it. Pretty much like Danny said, it was a fun game. A lot of guys stepped up. Kip Lewis flat around, played like a man possessed. He's a great athlete. We're really excited about him,
Ooh,
what
how
he
about
brings to the table.
Kobe had a big fourth down play.
Oh my god, yeah, Kobe. Let's talk about Kobe McKenzie with his big full body PBU.
Another fourth down stop.
Quarterback threw the ball right to his chest and dribbled it off Kobe's face mask. We've actually been giving Kobe quite a bit of flack for that one, and we'd actually it's been like a common thing that we give him a bunch of shiz for not being able to catch the ball, and I guess it kind of caught up to him in the game there, and so his his excuse for not catching the ball was that the quarterback threw the ball too soft. So I guess he's been so used to, for those, we've talked about on the podcast before, but Coach Venables is our scout team quarterback, and he does indeed dime it up. So Kobe's been so used to Coach Venables just putting that thing on an icy rope right into his hands, and so I guess when the quarterback threw the ball too soft at him, in his words, he just wasn't ready for it. So good fourth down, full body PBU / drop there. But
but the play we had, blitz called, and we kind of know when it's 4th and 2 against our defense, we're not really expecting a run. They'd be silly if they tried to run it again.
Yeah,
they ran at the play before, and so we're kind of expecting a pass. And offenses typically run. I feel like in a fourth down situation, you're going to get like 3 route combinations. You're going to get the 92, which for you guys that don't know is a wheel route by the back, 2 underneath short little shallows, and then an OTB route, which is kind of a curl right where the side of the back comes from, kind of cleared out. And
mesh concept.
Yeah, the mesh is what we call it, the 92 right here. And they're kind of hoping that, they cleared out with the running back, and they either want the one coming back to that side or the over the route ball because the guys are coming down on the mesh routes. So, or they run the 8 route, which is a quick person to the flats, kind of cleared out. They run a corner route, and then another curl right there where the defender was either going to the flat or playing the corner route. And I think the third that we probably would see would kind of be like our offense especially does kind of this. They get nasty, some kind of a tight alignment, and they do like a speed out with a little outside hitch route. And so we're kind of expecting some sort of concept like that. So as soon as me and Kobe see the dudes go underneath, yeah, just like that. All right, well, put the guy curl over, not keep running. Have him curl over. Come on now, let's get this right.
The curl to the side of the running back.
Yeah. There's obviously So that's the 92. If you want to draw the 8 route out of like a spread 10+ look. look at us. We're teaching you guys. I don't even know if you can see us on all platforms, but for you guys on the YouTube, they get the clips. I guess you can see it there. So now Jaren's drawing the 8 route for you. And these are all kind of short yardage concepts, what we're expecting. That's fine. So that's kind of what it looks like. Why do you make it out of 3x1? Anyway.
That's literally it's just a way to do it.
Yeah, but that's kind of like in a regular way you'd see it.
Final result, that's what I mean.
Yeah, Jaren, as you can tell, is kind of new to the system of defenses and, seeing route concepts. I guess.
That's literally like how you run it. That
looks more like a clear dig. Like I don't know.
Fucking A route, dude.
That's just not. But
how would you draw it?
That's exactly I told you I would go spread slot, gun plus, and I would do a tight split by number 1. And I'd run a corner route by the tight end, a quick flare by the running back, and then a curl by number 1. Come on. I thought you've learned this by now. No, that looks way nicer. Anyway,
ladies and gentlemen, for those of you listening, it's pretty much the exact same I just drew. We had the same idea. Anyways, 3's out, 1's in. Curl route. They also, on 4th down, a lot of teams like to move the pocket, sprint out, flood, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because
there's a lot of different tendencies for different teams.
Yeah, but
it's kind of hard to say. Most teams, like Danny said, do a very, very minuscule amount of things. Yeah, pretty limited in this situation.
The team we played, they loved the 92. So as soon as the dude ran under me and Kobe already knew exactly what we were seeing, and he just did a phenomenal job playing that. And second half started it off. I think they scored again, right, in the second half to start it off.
Yeah, the middle 8 for us, which we talked about on the podcast before. The first 4 minutes before halftime and the next 4 minutes after halftime. It's kind of a staple part of the game. It has a lot to do with momentum. It has a lot to do with the outcome in most scenarios. And we actually struggled with the middle 8 this game. I think we lost it. I think they scored right before half, and then again, coming into the third quarter. So
usually we pride ourselves in that. Obviously, very disappointed. We have to be better. But honestly, that drive right before half, that one pass interference was such a terrible call. Honestly, yeah, these refs are kind of.
There's been a lot of questionable calls this year. It's kind of just the way it is.
It just kind of
nobody's perfect. I think we're getting close to the time where all refs are going to be robots anyway. So
it's kind of what we expect, especially our last year in the Big 12. And honestly, I'm pretty much used to it. I feel like that's what I've always seen. So not really surprised, but still a little surprised, if that makes any sense. But second half, come out there. Jaren gets his action in the game. Comes out right away with a big old TFL on the quarterback. Electric play. And I guess, Jaren, you should walk us through that one.
So that was actually the series after my first time coming in. First play of a drive where they get into a formation and do they motion to empty, which is for them was a heavy tendency that the Q draw was coming. And so once I saw that, I pretty much keyed in, with that formation. They were in it was trio or trips, I think it was trips gun plus, and the running back motioned out to the boundary. And obviously it was a heavy tendency of QB run, so I was pretty much dialed in on that. And the second that I saw him do his fake look and tuck down, I pretty much triggered, and that's that. Just tackled him. And then me and Danny, we like to coordinate our celebrations, so
we always
just in kind of a confident way, assuming that we're gonna go out there and make a play right before we go out. We're like, all right, here's what's about to go down. And so we coordinated that celebration. That was a fun one, pretty electric, and yeah.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, last year Jaren had a really bad problem with his celebrations. He would just walk away, and it was really disappointing. I said, look, we gotta get some swag to your game.
I still kind of do. I mean, for me, it's
he's not very
good. When you make a play like that, it's that's what you're supposed to do.
Uh-huh.
But I get the point of celebrating. To me, it's just kind of I don't want to feel like I'm being cocky or anything. It was first down, and we were celebrating like we just won the game, and then the next play they literally converted on 2nd and 15. So
yeah, I had a misfit. We made a check.
We both did. Me and Danny actually both fit our gaps completely wrong.
The celebration was so cool. It evened out. It was worth it. It was worth it.
We were so hung up on the celebration that we just both had middle errors and completely misfit the next play. So
Jaren was still hungover from the celebration. He got to him.
Obviously you were too. You were in on it.
I had such an emotional high from that celebration. The downfall was the next play, and I needed to lock in more.
All right, y'all. So, when I was at OU, I used to get all the gear I could possibly dream of, man. Now I have to get it just like y'all. The good thing, though, is that the podcast is sponsored by Home Field Apparel. You've heard us talk about Home Field Apparel ever since the start of the season, all right? There are a lot of college apparel brands out there, but we wanted to partner with Home Field Apparel because their designs are the best out there. You got the Play Like a Championship t-shirt, the vintage quarter zip, the roughneck shirt, and of course, the 2023 Softball World Series Championship t-shirts, baby. Be sure to go to homefieldapparel.com, filter by Oklahoma, and see what we're talking about. It's imperative that you look the part on game day, and Home Field Apparel will make sure you do. All right. Our listeners get an exclusive deal using the code Prairie23. Y'all know what it is. That's Prairie23. That gets you 15% off your first order. Find what you want, add it to the cart, and use the code Prairie23 for 15% off. We know you're all wearing Sooner gear, so if you're in need of a refresh, we really think you should re-up using Home Field Apparel. Their designs are super unique, and a lot of thought goes into each concept. There's really nothing else on the market like what Home Field is doing. So find them at homefieldapparel.com, and again, use the code Prairie23 for 15% off.
But
no doubt.
What else? I feel like after that drive, I think I was pretty much like done. I might have played one more drive, and I was clocked out. Don't want to get up too much mileage on these tires right now.
But he's getting old.
Yeah, but he's getting old. Well, Jaren, what do you think rest of the game? How'd that pan out for you? Getting some action in there.
I'm pretty good. I mean, I came out pretty soon after, and then we threw in Connor and Lewis and all them. Let them get in on it, and like we mentioned before, we got a very deep linebacker room. We got a bunch of guys that can play good football, and we've been experimenting with the rotation a little bit, and we're excited about that. Getting guys in new spots like Danny. For those of you who don't know, Danny plays weak side linebacker. And this last game, they wanted to try him out as a middle linebacker and let Kip get a little more action at weak side because Kip has earned that. Kip's a great player, and so we've been rotating everybody around a little bit. Giving guys opportunities to shine and in different spots and whatnot, and just developing depth. And you get like guys like Lewis Carter getting in there, get some action, and getting his ass ripped a little bit for doing something completely wrong. But it's
nice.
all right. It's all part of learning. That's one of the best things about it is you get your ass ripped in the moment, but you learn from it and you become better at the end of the day.
Dude, so. Mike is pretty tough. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. So Danny's been giving me a bunch of year for not getting as many tackles as him, whatnot, and then he goes and plays Mike, and he comes back and pretty much apologizes to me and says, "Dude, I completely understand. This is 10 times harder than what I do, and you're just so much. You're just a better player than me, and you're so much more. You're so much more humble and attractive, and you're better talking to girls. And I understand why playing Mike is so much more difficult. And I just have the utmost respect for what you do. But yeah, on a real note,
I played Mike and still had the most tackles. So what's your excuse?
I only had 8, dude. Usually have like 15.
I only played a half.
So did I. I had almost as many. I had 5. I played like a third of your snaps, and I had 3 less tackles.
You're just making stuff up.
Yeah, but on a real note, middle linebacker, behind the ball linebacker. I was actually talking to Coach V about this. These are Coach V's words. He told me, he's like, behind the ball middle linebacker is one of the hardest positions to play in college football. There's things going this way. There's so much happening. Obviously, if you know where to put your eyes and you've played the game, watched a lot of film, you can kind of know what to focus on. But he has a good point. There's a lot of stuff you need to see, and you gotta kind of take control of the defense at the fronts, know what everybody else around you is doing, which most positions should know that, but it's a little bit more stress on the Mike backer and on the linebackers in general to know what's going on around them and direct other people to do their jobs. But
all right,
moving on, we talked a little bit about the defense a little bit.
It's going to be kind of hard not having J Hall and B Willie here because they're offensive mastermind, and so now we're kind of working on the other side of it. We're going to struggle a little bit, but
we're going to give our very amateur.
We're going to give our own takes here. So
on what we saw.
A lot of people have been talking trash on Coach Levy. He needs some respect on his name. 644 total yards and 59 points. Just what Levy does. Honestly, we have like a super high we lead like the Big 12 or something. We're first in the nation for offensive efficiency. I'm confused where all this maybe there's one play on a rollout like 2 weeks ago. Like, okay, I get it. But
We need the Big 12 in a lot of offensive categories, which
yeah,
we wouldn't even be talking about it if Coach V didn't kind of bring it up in the meeting yesterday.
Coach V loves pulling up stats, dude. We don't
he's
honestly. I don't like it that much. I don't like to hear how good we are.
No.
But he loves talking numbers, man. He's just a number guy.
We usually kind of when he talks about standings or statistics or where we stand, I don't tune it out, but like I just don't really. It doesn't really affect me too much because at the end of the day we don't play to a stat or to a standing or where we are in the Big 12, whatever we do. And just kind of watching from the defensive side. One guy that really stood out to me, obviously, other than Dylan Gabriel, which we'll get into in a second, was my man Drake Stoops having a freaking game. He played his ass off against Oklahoma State as well, and he had that interview that kind of went a little mini viral on the Twitterverse. And so, having a little him moment like that on Twitter, and then come back and having another badass game. We love it, and he's everything that he's portrayed on the internet. Tough, hard-nosed guy.
One of 3 people that finalists for the Burlsworth Award. Good for him. Honestly, I don't know who else they would give that to. I feel like he's literally what it means to win that award. Like a dude that walked onto this school, put in so much hard work. Like if you watch the movie, like the Greater movie, low-key sad.
That's one of my I cry every time I watch it.
Little girl over here.
Yeah, I mean. It's a good movie, dude.
But that is literally what Drake Stoops is. Like every single day, the same person working hard, and it's great to see that finally pay off. He's probably gonna make an amazing Patriots wide receiver. But Bill Belichick probably already has a scouting report.
Bill Belichick offense, man. These little white slot receivers.
And honestly, you see a lot of guys like that in the NFL that just do like so good. Cooper Kupp, could name a ton. I could be like LeBron meme and like. Look up white NFL wide receivers. Like, oh, you have so many. Cooper Kupp, who's that dude from Clemson? Hunter
Renfrow.
It's just Julian Edelman. Shout out to all the national wide receiver. Just like
for those of you who might be like Jay Hall and maybe a little older and don't understand the joke Danny's making here. LeBron James, basketball player. He was recently kind of put on blast for an interview or a video he posted online where it was like National Tight Ends Day in the NFL. And you could tell blatantly that he had to list like a Google like top 10 best tight ends in the league pulled up. And he was just reading through the list. He's like, man, shout out my guys, Rob Gronkowski, Travis Kelce. Like you could tell he was just reading a script.
He was reading when he didn't say Braden Willis. Like, what is he doing?
Yeah,
that's crazy. Dude. He said George Kittle, but not Braden Willis. Like that's wild.
You can't speak those. You can't speak one of those without mentioning the other. Like in the same conversation. What I mean?
It's just a duo. But all right, moving on to offense. Obviously, Mr. 8 Tuds, Dylan Gabriel. What an electric night for him. Happy to see such a performance. It was awesome, electric. I remember like after his 8 touchdown, I was talking to Caleb. I was like, dude, that's got to be a record. He's like, come on, bro. Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray played here. Like they like, there's no way. And I saw Gabe Eicher. I was like, dude, is that a record? And then he was like, let me check. And he like walked on the sideline, did some research. I was like, actually, it is a school record. Like how electric is that? I mean, 8 touchdowns. This is something I would do in like NCAA, like my career. So that's electric, freaking cool. Who else? Nick Anderson can't finish a 60-yard run, but Drake Stoops can. Really
Nick Anderson got hawked down. He just didn't put enough, speed training in the off season. Yeah, when Schmitty's trying to get us to do speed work, Nick Anderson's just not having it and decides that he's going to get hawked down from behind.
Well, all they're doing speed work next is on the jug machine. I guess that's what it is. So
yeah,
improve on that.
Kobe's feeding him the balls. Kobe's not on the jug machine.
Bring it back to the defense. Jaren got Kobe on the jugs yesterday, and Kobe dropped every single pass on the jugs, went right through his hands. He probably is the worst team. And then Jaren tossed him the ball and he caught it, and he was like, "All right, that's my catch for the night. I'm going in."
Like we've been trying to get Kobe on the jug, obviously since that happened. But this isn't the first time we tried to get Kobe on the jugs.
He's more about hitting people than he is catching football, which is fine.
He plays with concrete in his helmet, and obviously, apparently, he plays with concrete in his gloves as well. Because, again, today in practice, had another ball thrown right at him. It looked like he was actually trying to spike it, like it was a volleyball. So, I don't know, dude. I mean, we tried to get him on the jugs last night. He was making every excuse he could that the lights were in his eyes or something. So he asked me to prove that the machine was actually catchable. And so I got in there and caught a ball, and then I tossed it to him, and he caught that and took that as his catch for the night and headed in and hopped in the ice tub. So one day I think Kobe will improve his hands. One jugs machine catch at a time.
Which won't be many. But anyway, hey, Drake catches his third touchdown, gets rocked by the defender. Lights turn off. Dylan's right there, the first dude over there, in the dude's face. The clip cuts out. I'm not going to lie. The lights turn off. You can't see anything. If
in those 5 seconds where the lights are off, I'm doing everything.
If I'm a defensive player and the lights are off, I'm swinging at everything that's in front of me. Like I'm not going to lie. Like in their defense, if the lights turn off, the offense is right there. I'm punching. I'm doing. I'm scratched. I'm clawing. Like
the refs can't see. I'm about to get away with something crazy.
It's so dark on the field, so it's kind of understandable what happened. But then the next, I think on the PAT, you just see McKade just running after the dude.
I didn't see this when it happened in person. I saw it online. Same with the Dylan Gabriel video of him sprinting after him. It's so hilarious. And
you just see McKade run after this dude, and then the dude's like kind of swing back, and then McKade's one pointing like, "Dude, did you see that? Did you see like McKade's not chasing after this dude with malicious intent?" And then obviously McKade gets tossed from the game. Our president's on the sideline, like being like, "Yeah, that's what's up. I appreciate you." Gives him a little fist bump.
Dude, I mean, he showed what it meant to wear the Unity jerseys. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's all about. Like your teammate, he gets a cheap shot. So first of all, like Drake said, why would you stand over somebody that just scored on you? As a defensive guy, like if somebody just scored a touchdown on me, I'm not standing over him. Like that's just the dumbest thing ever. But you know what? It just shows what Unity's all about, man. They cheap shot him, stand over him like they did something. And we're such a tight knit group. We have so much unity as our team. We love our brother, and we are our brother's keeper. We're gonna stand up for that. And if that means getting ejected from the game for doing what's right, quote unquote right, then that's just what's about to go down. So
yeah. And then after the game, Coach V kind of addressed it. Obviously, Coach V said, "Look, you can't have this." He said, "Obviously, it's not a good representation of the program." McKade had to apologize to everyone. But I think every single person in the room was like, "You don't really need to apologize." I think even McKade, the tone, knew he didn't really have to apologize because he's just standing up for Drake at the end of the day. So we all still ride with our boy McKade. We honestly, I'd probably do the same thing in his shoes. I respect it. But honestly, hey, how about those Unity jerseys for the night game? That was first off our second night game with the Unity. That was so sick. Like being a player, being a part of that, electric.
Yeah, talking about when the lights go off and you can't see anything. Like when we're in all dark gray black jerseys, it's even better. Like you can't see a thing. Like we feel like ninjas out there. Like we could do anything in these next 5 seconds when the lights are off. But
it's like I'm Batman, dude. Like I just disappear in the darkness. It's so sick. But honestly, I wish one jersey combo. I wish we could do all reds. I know we did it 1 year against West Virginia. I don't know why West Virginia is always like, let's try a new uniform team. But yeah, all reds.
I thought they did it against Iowa State at home and lost. That's why we don't do it anymore.
It was West Virginia 2016.
I got you. And they lost?
Yeah, they lost. And then I guess Lincoln Riley was like superstitious. So he said like, no, never again. So I feel like if Coach V wouldn't mind, but it's just a matter of like he just doesn't care about the jersey. So if we go to the person that's all you guys care about.
He could care a little less.
Yeah.
One thing I've known we have used all white helmets in the past. Like I would like to see like an all white uniform. You know what I mean? Like white helmet, white jersey, all that.
So sick. The fans would go crazy. Maybe in the SEC, man. Maybe we get something like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so moving into BYU. Jaren, what do the fans need to know about BYU?
Man, going down to Provo, Utah. Danny Stutzman is super scared of the time change. He's just awestruck that we have to wake up at quote unquote 5 a.m. It's 6 a.m. for us.
Right, I don't know why people say it's not. It's still 5 a.m. is 5 a.m. Like 1 hour time change is not going to like affect you enough where it's like, oh, my body's still on 6 a.m. Well, honestly, I can wake up early. I'm not saying that, but I hate when people are like, bro, like it's just the same time. But it's just not.
So what you just said completely contradicts yourself. You said it's not going to be enough to change your body. That's exactly the point we're trying to make. You're gonna get down to Utah, and your body, your circadian rhythm, your internal clock is still gonna be set to. It's feeling like it's 6 a.m. It's gonna say 5 a.m. on the clock, but your body's gonna feel like it's 6 a.m.
when I'm at the hotel and I look at my phone and it says 8:30 and that's when curfew is, are you gonna tell me you're gonna go to bed at 8:30? Like, I don't think like that's just possible.
So
Like,
you're placeboed into having a time on your phone affect you when your
you're
internal
acting
clock.
like you're not gonna do the same thing.
I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but I just you're not like
Like
either way. I'm gonna tell myself
no one's gonna
I
see
just
their
have
phone at 8:30 and be like, all right, I'm cutting it down for the night. Like I'm gonna have to go to bed at the same time I do for a regular game, except wake up at 5:45.
no, but you're gonna feel tired enough to go to bed at the same time you
That
usually
1
are.
hour difference. First off, when it's 11 a.m. game and I try to go to bed at 9:30, I'm not tired to start with. I just force myself to go to bed.
Yeah.
So me looking at the clock and seeing 8 o'clock, that's gonna be like, holy cow, it's 8 o'clock right now. I'm not gonna feel like it's 9 o'clock. And 1 hour is not gonna make me like, I'm exhausted now. I feel like it's 9 o'clock compared to 8 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
Change the time on your phone.
That's fine. Okay, I'll change the time on my phone, but like realistically, either way, 11 a.m. game, you're gonna be tired regardless. I'm not saying that. Anyway,
They told us they were gonna change all the clocks in the hotel to represent Central Time, so we didn't get all freaked out. You know, there's we kind of talked about this in our leadership meeting, and you know, Coach V brought it up this morning. There's a lot of like outside things that people are talking about that they think are going to affect us. You know, the elevation or the time change or being in 10 a.m. or whatever, that kind of thing. Like at the end of the day, like we're going to go play football. You know, we're not going to let these exterior factors, you know, affect us and affect, you know, how we prepare and how we execute our game plan. And one thing that has got brought up is the turf.
Their grass.
Their grass conditions.
Because of the elevation, I guess the grass is very slippery in the morning. I actually talked to someone who's played there a few times. They said it's actually more slippery at night for some reason. In the morning, they said it's not that bad. But we are all getting like these new, like, it's basically detachable spikes. So it is just like,
it's just like extensions to our cleats. So like we have our normal cleats, and these cleats are basically just the bottom of the cleat extended
just a little bit longer.
to help us.
They're just more uncomfortable, I guess, or less comfortable for the feet, but better grip. So everyone's having to break those cleats in, which is, it is what it is. If we have better grip, and supposedly not even all their players at BYU have it, so it could be an advantage for us. So it is what it is. You know, if the cleats help, the cleats help. If not, they don't. We're still going to do what we do. But
yeah, that's been another external factor that apparently people are going to think is going to affect us, is that the field is quote unquote slippery. I mean, you see it on film. You know, we've seen it a couple of times where guys are just having these moments where they kind of slip for no reason, and you know that we're not thinking that's going to be a factor. We'll probably won't be focused on it or anything. I'm sure these cleats will help out with
the Oklahoma State guys, where I guess there was a clip of them talking. They're like, or something. They're saying they didn't have their rain gear or something like that. Like they weren't ready to play because it was raining outside. Like that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Playing in the rain does stink though. But
yeah,
like that Kansas game, man, it was brutal. Especially when I got hurt, just being on the sideline. It was like freezing
cold. Rain is
cold, rainy. I'm just
being
on the
cold. Being cold is one thing, guys. Being wet and cold.
Think about that: being wet, cold, and hurt, and then on the sideline where you can't play to get warm. So, and you don't want to be the dude that's just by the heater warming up. So you're like, I'm just gonna thug this one out like freezing cold.
That was a big deal that got brought up about last year. How West Virginia, there was a bunch of we got guys, as Schmidt would say, we got guys huddled over by the heater like a bunch of. I'm sure you can blur that out, but those were his exact words. And so every time I thought about standing in the front of the heater, all I heard was Schmidt in the back of my mind talking about, we got a bunch of guys standing in front of the heater while we got a football game going on. We got to go out there and kill guys. We got guys standing in front of the heater trying to warm their toes up. And it's like, I got to be a tough guy right now.
Dude, those heaters are hot. Like they'll burn your hair off. My hair was burn. I would sneak over.
Thing is, like,
I can just burn my hair off.
The cool thing is, like, it was raining and sprinkling. Like the second it hit, it just evaporated.
Yeah, it was
super cool to see.
But honestly, I feel like we covered everything, Jaren. Right? You got any shout outs?
I think so. I mean, yeah, actually, I don't know for you viewers, if you've noticed the sick polo t-shirts we have on, you know, shout out to our teammate Reddy.
Shout out Double Team, Reddy's brand. Go support him. Also support Danny Stutzman merch at opolis.com, opolisclothing.com. You know, still buy our shirts. It's not too late. You know, but I mean, if you want to buy Reddy's shirt too, I mean, it's not a bad idea either. You know,
as a consumer of both shirts, you know, I'll give my honest opinion. This shirt's probably way better than the Danny Stutzman t-shirt. Danny Stutzman t-shirt's a little overrated, overused, overhyped, in my opinion. This is a great, you know, breathable. You could use it for golf. You could go to church. You could wear it anywhere really.
Anywhere.
It's a great shirt.
Yeah.
You know, this
Alex, our producer, has bought one of my shirts. It looks freaking clean.
it looks cheap, you know, not very well made, mass
Actually, no,
produced.
take that back. No, those shirts are so cheap.
I will be honest. Danny
The
Stutzman
shirts are
t-shirts
nice.
are very high quality. I saw a
They
lot
are.
of them in the stands, you know, on Saturday, and you know, I'm really happy for
Yeah. Hey,
for
shout out
Danny.
everyone that bought my jersey, bought my my shirt, and then shout out everyone that wore it to the game. Appreciate you. And actually, I just brought up jerseys. I feel like the jerseys fanatic deal was the biggest scam in 2022.
I don't think I've seen a dime from that.
I don't think I've seen a dime. First off, and they're so expensive. Buy a knockoff from China. This is me telling you right now.
Please buy any type of knockoff jersey.
I cannot care less about the $2 I make off a $140 jersey. I'd rather you buy a jersey from China for like $20-$40.
I don't know if we're legally allowed to say that you shouldn't support fanatics.
If they can sue me, I don't care. Like maybe
I
don't
mean,
sue me.
I
think I should not have signed off on that, honestly.
I don't think I've seen anything from that.
And I remember bringing it up to Coach V like last year. He was like, maybe sell some more jerseys. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, he's like,
at least one person has bought my jersey, and I have not seen a penny. But yeah, let me stop it. Let me stop here before I keep going. You know, get myself
before I get a lawsuit on my hands.
Before I get sued by fanatics and just have to move out playing college football because I signed my life away.
Dude, the funniest part about this Danny Stutzman jersey is like every once in a while we'll get like mentioned. I'll get mentioned on Twitter, like something that having to do with the shirt, and all the comments are like this, just like knockoffs. Like, here's the original link. It's like all these knockoffs to the same shirt. And I actually had this one girl she sent me a picture of a screenshot on Pinterest, and it was like Danny's quote on a Pinterest t-shirt. And it's like they're taking this thing and running with it, and it's super funny to me.
No, finish what the shirt said.
Huh?
The shirt. Finish what it said.
The Pinterest shirt?
Yeah.
It just said your quote.
No,
what do you mean?
It had a who said it.
Oh, okay. I was kind of had a brain fart there. So the funny part about this shirt, actually, it said Danny's quote, and then below it said who quoted it, and it was Oklahoma Sooner legend Danny Stutzman. And so the whole rest of the day, I was making jokes that I was in the presence of a living legend.
I will probably be forgotten. I feel like all good players get forgotten in Oklahoma history. Like, there's so many great linebackers that, like, you know, their name just dies out. Like, how many fans really know, like, Travis Lewis or guys like, you know, Lance Mitchell or like Rufus Alexander? Not many fans. Like,
why are you dissing them, bro?
I'm not. I just said they're amazing players. Like, Travis Lewis has like 400 career tackles. That's insane. But not every fan that Oklahoma fan just knows about him. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that quote will be forgotten anytime soon. That is one thing. I will probably be forgotten, but that quote definitely will not be forgotten, which is kind of cool. But if it is, it is. I'm at that
immortalized, officially immortalized.
I don't care if my career is like forgotten, but as long as the quote stays the same. But yeah, I think that's kind of the end of the show. You know, a nice little show here on a Tuesday night. You know, Appreciate talking to you, Jaren. Appreciate you being here, Alex. Sorry, J Hall. Sorry, B Willie. Hope you played amazing in your game. Sorry, couldn't watch it. If you played.
Yeah, I mean, that was a solid show. You know, thank you guys for joining us, to our viewers, to our listeners. You know, I hope you guys are having the best time of your lives listening to our podcast. You know, I hope this made your day better. And you know, thank you guys for listening. This is Jaren Cannon signing out. Danny,
peace.
Over and out.
10-4.
Over.